Every night, as you drift into sleep, your mind embarks on a journey far stranger than any story ever told. You enter a realm where gravity holds no power, where forgotten memories intertwine with impossible visions, where logic quietly steps aside, allowing deeper truths to emerge. Dreams have always fascinated humanity. Throughout history, they've been revered as divine messages, feared as omens, and explored as gateways into hidden worlds. But today, many dismiss dreams as mere imagination, random firings of neurons, meaningless fragments of subconscious chatter. Yet, what if your dreams were speaking a forgotten language, a secret code crafted by your mind, filled with symbols and signs begging to be understood? What if dreams are whispers from a deeper self, echoing truths about who you really are, about realities you've yet to imagine? Tonight, we journey deep into the hidden world of your dreams. We'll unravel mysteries passed down through centuries, explore symbols shared by people across cultures, and perhaps begin to rediscover a secret language your soul never truly forgot. This is the mysterious realm of dreams. Long before science and psychology tried to explain dreams, ancient civilizations revered them as sacred. To dream was to speak with the gods, to receive wisdom from beyond the veil of the waking world. In dreams, pharaohs claimed to see their destiny. In dreams, shamans wandered into the spirit realm. And in dreams, prophets believed they heard the voice of fate itself. In ancient Egypt, dreams were thought to be divine messages, portals where mortals could commune with the divine. Temples were built for the sole purpose of dreaming, places where initiates would sleep and await visions from the gods. These weren't daydreams, these were revelations. The Greeks believed dreams held healing powers. Physicians like Hippocrates and philosophers like Aristotle studied them with reverence. And then there was Artemidorus, the ancient world's dream interpreter, who compiled symbols, patterns, and visions into early maps of meaning, forming one of the first dream dictionaries. But dreams weren't just a fascination of the elite. Across time and culture, Aboriginal Australians, Mayans, Sufis, Tibetan monks, people believed dreams were more than sleep's byproduct. They were bridges between the conscious and the divine, the mortal and the mystical. A secret language the soul used to remember who it really was. What's remarkable is this: though these people lived oceans apart, their dream symbols overlapped. The serpent, the water, the flight, the fall. Could it be that dreams speak a language older than any spoken tongue? One written in symbols, shared by all of humanity, regardless of time, place, or belief. Perhaps our ancestors didn't just imagine this language. Perhaps they remembered it. While ancient cultures saw dreams as divine messages, the modern world took a different path. With the rise of psychology, the divine gave way to the deeply personal. Dreams were no longer messages from gods, but reflections of the self. Sigmund Freud believed dreams were the mind's theater of suppressed desires, a stage where your forbidden wishes wore disguises, symbols masking truths you weren't ready to face. To him, a dream about flying might not be about freedom, but control, ego, or repressed impulses buried deep in the subconscious. Carl Jung looked deeper. To him, dreams were not just personal, they were collective. He believed we all share a symbolic reservoir of imagery, the collective unconscious, a vast hidden library filled with universal archetypes, characters, symbols, and themes that repeat in all of us. In Jung's eyes, dreams weren't random. They were the soul's poetry, written in metaphor. The ocean might not mean water, it might mean emotion. The serpent might not mean danger, it might mean transformation. The house might not be a house at all, but your mind. This language of dreams isn't literal, it's symbolic, emotional, layered. You don't decode it with logic, you feel your way through it. You reflect, you remember, you recognize. And the most fascinating part, many of these symbols appear across cultures, across lifetimes. The same shapes, the same emotions, as if your dreams aren't just yours, but shared echoes from minds long gone. Dreams don't just speak to you, they speak as you, and learning to interpret them is learning to understand a part of yourself that never speaks aloud. We tend to think of dreams as deeply personal, shaped by our memories, our emotions, our unique experiences. But what if some parts of your dreams aren't just yours? Across cultures, across centuries, across people who never met, the same dream symbols continue to appear. The serpent, the ocean, the mirror, the fall, the flight. Why? Carl Jung called them archetypes, symbols baked into the human psyche, hardwired into our subconscious. They emerge when language fails, when emotion spills into image, and they speak not in facts, but in feeling. Take flying. It often represents freedom, transcendence, escape. But for some, it's power. For others, it's fear. The emotion wrapped around the symbol is what gives it weight. Falling, on the other hand, is nearly universal. That sudden drop, the lack of control, it often mirrors real-life instability, anxiety, or fear of failure. And yet, we all dream it. Why does our mind default to the same metaphor? Water is another. Calm seas, raging storms, endless oceans again and again. Water appears as the language of emotion. Deep, unpredictable, reflective. It's rarely just scenery. It's usually the message itself. What's even more curious is how often these symbols appear during major life transitions. Moments of transformation, inner crisis, emotional awakening. As if the subconscious calls on ancient symbols to communicate what words cannot. These patterns hint at something bigger, a shared dreamscape, a collective language coded into our minds, not taught, not inherited, but remembered. It's almost as if, when we sleep, we briefly return to something we've always known, a timeless vocabulary, a place beyond the personal, where we all speak in symbols. Not all dreams stay confined to the night. Some bleed into the waking world, foreshadowing events, echoing real moments before they happen, or aligning so perfectly with reality that they leave us stunned. These are prophetic dreams, precognitive flashes. And while science often dismisses them, history remembers them. Abraham Lincoln reportedly dreamed of his own death just days before his assassination. Countless stories from Titanic survivors mention eerie premonitions, cancelled trips, restless nights, detailed dreams of sinking ships. And even today, ordinary people report dreaming of people they haven't seen in years, only to hear from them the next day. Coincidence? Maybe. But when patterns repeat, when inner symbols reflect outer events, it becomes harder to ignore. This is where synchronicity comes in. Carl Jung defines synchronicity as a meaningful coincidence. Two seemingly unrelated events that connect through significance, not cause. You dream of an owl, and the next day, one flies across your path. You dream of losing something, and wake up to find it gone. The logic mind says randomness. The intuitive mind says, pay attention. In these moments, dreams feel less like illusions and more like messages, whispers from the deeper architecture of reality. They suggest that perhaps time isn't as linear as we think, that cause and effect might stretch beyond what we can measure. Maybe dreams don't predict the future. Maybe they simply show us what's already unfolding beneath the surface before it arrives. Or maybe they're reminders that reality isn't something we walk through. It's something we're entangled with. Every thought, every dream, every symbol, interconnected, mysterious, alive. What if your dreams aren't just illusions of the mind, but glimpses into other versions of you? Some physicists propose that we live in a multiverse, a collection of infinite realities, where every possible version of your life exists. Every decision you didn't make, every path you didn't take, every you that could have been, still is somewhere. Now consider this. When you dream, your mind detaches from physical laws. Time becomes fluid, space bends, logic evaporates. Could this state of consciousness be more than fantasy? Could it be a crossing point? Many who study altered states of awareness believe dreams might be doorways, transitions where the veil between realities grows thin, especially in lucid dreams. Those moments when you become aware that you're dreaming and can begin to shape the dream itself. Lucid dreaming blurs the boundary between observer and creator. You're not just watching a story unfold, you're choosing it, changing it, moving through it with intention. And that raises a deeper question. If you can become conscious within a dream, who's the real you, the one dreaming, or the one dreaming within the dream? Some ancient traditions believed that waking life is simply another layer of dreaming, that consciousness moves through multiple states, and none of them are truly more real than the others, just more stable. And in that sense, each dream might not be a distortion of reality, but an alternate one, a realm just as valid, just as intricate, just as real, experienced through the lens of a different self. So when you wake up from a dream that felt eerily familiar, filled with people you've never met, in places you've never seen, maybe you didn't imagine it, maybe you remembered it. Not all dreams are pleasant. Some disturb us, some chase us, some wake us in the middle of the night, heart pounding, drenched in sweat. These are nightmares, visions we try to forget, dismiss as stress, or write off as bad sleep. But what if they aren't trying to harm us, but awaken us? In the realm of psychology, especially within Carl Jung's work, nightmares are often seen as messengers from the shadow self, the hidden part of us we suppress, deny, or refuse to face, the anger we bury, the fear we avoid, the truths we don't want to admit. And like any part of ourselves that's ignored, the shadow doesn't stay silent. It speaks through dreams. The monster chasing you, it might be a part of you you're afraid to acknowledge. The endless maze, a symbol of a decision you're running from. The fall, a loss of control you've refused to admit in waking life. In this view, nightmares aren't curses. They're invitations, demanding your attention, asking you to look deeper, to face what you've hidden. Some of the most transformative dreams begin as nightmares, because in darkness, symbols speak louder. The imagery becomes raw, urgent, alive. Shadow work, consciously exploring these darker elements of the psyche, isn't easy, but it's how we integrate, how we become whole. So the next time you wake from a nightmare, don't rush to forget it. Ask what it wanted you to see, because sometimes the scariest dreams are the ones telling the deepest truths. We spend nearly a third of our lives asleep, a third of our existence drifting through worlds that vanish with the morning light. But what if those hours aren't wasted? What if they're filled with meaning we've forgotten how to hear? Dreams speak in a language older than words, a language woven from emotion, memory, archetype, and metaphor, a language written by the subconscious, and maybe something even deeper. They show us who we are when the masks fall away, who we were, who we might become. They show us hidden fears, unresolved grief, and the whispers of joy we haven't fully embraced. They can terrify, comfort, warn, or guide, but above all, they speak, even when we're not listening. For thousands of years, dreams were sacred. Today, we often brush them off, but they haven't stopped speaking. We've just stopped paying attention. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we remember the language, not to analyze every detail, but to feel them, to sit with the imagery, to sense the meaning beneath the surface. Because whether they come from the subconscious, the soul, or someplace beyond time, dreams are messages meant for us, crafted by us, waiting patiently to be heard. So tonight, when you close your eyes, ask yourself, what will my dreams say? And will I understand what they're trying to tell me? If this journey through the secret language of dreams stirred something in you, stay curious. This channel is a home for minds that question, for souls that feel deeply, and for those who know there's more to reality than what we're told. Here, we explore the mysteries most people ignore: consciousness, hidden truths, forgotten wisdom, and the spaces between waking and dreaming. If you felt connected to this video, there's more waiting for you. Subscribe, explore, and let your mind wander with us. And if you've ever had a dream you couldn't forget, tell me about it in the comments.